Senator John Barrasso is blasting President Obama for his handling or lack of handling of the fiscal crisis. Senator Barrasso warning it is increasingly clear that the president is comfortable going off the cliff. Senator Barrasso joins us. Nice to see you, sir.
Thanks for having me.
So you think the president is comfortable, or does he want to go off the cliff?
Well, he's being advised to go off the cliff. Howard Dean has said it. Patty Murray, who ran the Democratic Senatorial Committee, has said they should go over the cliff. I think the president sees a political victory for his party if they go over the cliff. And I know Republicans are concerned that there's going to be a second recession if we go over the cliff.
What does he gain from going over the cliff?
Well, taxes go up on everyone, which gives the president lots of additional money to spend on new government programs. Additionally, he has all these military cuts that many liberal Democrats have been hoping for years. And then the third thing is, of course, he blames the Republicans for everything.
Well, it's sort of interesting. When he campaigned, he wanted $800 billion in increased revenue on the rich. That's what he campaigned on. And he wanted to raise the tax rates on the rich. Speaker Boehner's proposal, as I understand it, that went over to the White House the other day, which they have pretty much called ridiculous, offered the $800 billion in revenue, getting it from the same people, the rich people, but rather than increasing the tax rates, what they were going to do is close some loopholes and deductions that apply only to the rich people, so that the rich were in effect paying $800 billion, increasing their actual tax, just not the tax rate. And the president said no and came back and moved the goalpost and wants $1.6 trillion now.
Yeah, it's kind of like Lucy pulling away the football from Charlie Brown. What you're seeing is the president is now asking for twice the amount of increase in taxes that he campaigned on. Really, the proposal that Tim Geithner brought to Capitol Hill is one that I believe the Democrats wouldn't even support if put to a vote. The increase in taxes on over $200,000 of income, the incredible increase in change to the death tax, wanting to have a new credit card with no credit limit for the president, so he can additionally just borrow and spend and tax. You go through all of these things, and it really never deals with the fundamental problem in our country, which is the spending. Our problem isn't that we're taxed too little, is that we continued, Greta, to spend too much.
Well, he put it, but by doubling how much revenue he wants from $800 billion to $1.6 trillion, and asking that the debt ceiling, that he have sole control over on how much the debt ceiling can be raised without having to get permission from Capitol Hill. I mean, those two things he had to know were going to be non-starters with the Republicans and maybe with some Democrats. So maybe you're right that he deliberately is trying to move the goalposts so that there is no deal that can be worked out.
That's why I believe he wants to go over the cliff. If he actually wanted a deal that worked, it's something that he's the only one that's going to have a pen that can sign that, and it's something that John Boehner has to take to the floor of the House and get past the floor of the House, and the House is under Republican control. So the president ought to be working with John Boehner to find a solution that the House can pass and the president will sign, if the president really was interested in signing it. But the ridiculous offer by Tim Geithner really showed how completely unwilling this president is to look for a solution.
Well, I think no member of the House or the Senate or the president should go on vacation before you've handled this.
I think he has a plan. He has a vacation already planned.
I know he does, but you know what? You guys have had a year and a half of knowing this problem exists, that everyone took off all the fall. The president and everybody who ran for office, who was up for office, took off the entire fall. We paid all your salaries, and you didn't work. And now you've got this deadline of January 1. And you all think, and I'm sorry, not you, but I mean, say, you think you're going to take these expensive vacations, or not expensive, but you're going to take vacations, and you haven't done your work.
Yeah, I want to get this problem solved for the American people. I don't want another recession. I don't want 9.1% unemployment, which is, I think, what we're going to get if we go over the cliff with these tax rates going up on so many small businesses all around the country. I'm meeting with the same business leaders that the president is meeting with, and you know what they're telling me is they're not hiring. They're doing hiring freezes. They're not filling spots that are empty, and it's all in anticipation of what's going to happen in terms of the tax increases, in terms of the huge expenses of the Obama health care law, which is facing them as well. So I'm always optimistic, but I have great concerns about the direction of the economy under this president.
I don't know how you could possibly be optimistic, and if everyone's making vacation plans right now, and this is, and all I hear is that you're a stalemate, and that I can see the goalposts are being moved, you know, and it doesn't see any likelihood, and nobody's sitting here talking in the same room. I just frankly think it's, you know, I don't think I'd do my job.
We're seeing no presidential leadership at all. The election was 4 weeks ago from tonight, and it's 4 weeks from now in the future. that we're over the cliff, and I see no movement by the president. The offer that Tim Geithner brought was an awful one. He just wants a new credit card without a limit. Senate hasn't passed a budget in almost 4 years.
You know what's going to happen is that if we hit the debt ceiling at the end of this month, it's really going to go into effect about February, because there's some money games we can do to pay our debt until then, or to manage to get by. But in February, when we totally run out of money, and all the Americans who file for their tax returns wanting their money that they pay, they want their refunds, and we don't have any cash in, we'll see how happy the American people are.
The American people are right to be very concerned, and the president's
enraged.
Maybe good at campaigning, but he's not very good at leading.
Senator, thank you, sir. Always nice to see you.
Thanks for having me, Greta.